everybody to day 2 of the Oceania Digimon Championship Finals. Very exciting to be here bringing you the top 32. I am one of your hosts today, Connor from the Memory Gauge podcast, and with me I have...
Digiburst from Digiburst on YouTube.
Very exciting to be here. One of the lovely things about being here in a big in-person event is that we finally got a chance to meet in person. Spoke a lot online, but now we're actually hanging out, doing some commentary together, and I think it's going to be a great day. We've been perusing the deck lists here that were posted up on the TAC page.
Really
Facebook.
interesting ones. So exciting to be seeing these matches. Absolutely crazy text on a lot of these lists.
Oh yeah, there's going to be some interesting stuff in there. A lot of spice. Looking like our top 32 spread has quite a large number of Waygreymon X antibody decks, which was pretty expected. I think looking at the field yesterday, it was highly represented by a lot of players, so not surprising that we're seeing a lot of them in top 32. Also seeing a significant number of Grandis decks.
I think Grandis really took advantage of this tournament with the expectation that Black War X would be a strong presentation in the tournament. Bring a really good matchup for them. They really exploited that. And the conversion rate really shows.
Absolutely. Then some other sort of rogue lists in the top 32, a couple of Machinedramon lists, which some people yesterday were expressing some excitement about, hoping to see some Machinedramon, so we might get to feature some of that today, depends how they do. I believe I also saw some Blue Flare. There's at least one Metal Garurumon X antibody running around rocking a surprising tech that you pointed out to be very exciting stuff.
Yes, I can't wait to see that on camera. Hopefully we can catch it on camera.
Oh, that would be very, very cool. So lots of great matches that we're going to see today, hopefully. Really just some excellent players we're going to get to see at the top of their game, hopefully. So very shortly we're going to head over to the featured table and get into this game. Looking like we have Lewellyn and William going to be starting us off. And this is going to be an interesting matchup because we have the deck list in front of us. Lewellyn will be running Mastemon and William will be running Waygreymon. Going to be an interesting one. How do you think that shapes up, Si?
There are some very interesting ways they can play about it. What kind of text do they have out for the Black Waygreymon X? Is it mostly retaliation ways?
Looking at the Black Waygreymon list at the moment, it's looking pretty standard for what we've seen yesterday. 3 copies of Gaiomon at the top end versus just 1 copy of the BT8 Black Waygreymon, which is interesting. We saw Gaiomon doing a lot of work yesterday at that top end with that reboot and that security attack +1. So that's a pretty powerful level 6 for the Black Waygreymon deck to be able to get into. So it's gonna be a pretty strong deck.
Yeah, so the main way to go about it is getting up the retaliation and the blocker on the Mastemon, and setting up all your angels and fallen angels with that retaliation and blocker. So then if the Black Waygreymon dares the punch, you can shred the source, you can shred the X antibody source. But then if they lose then their source, so they're vulnerable to more retaliations. But if they don't have a second source in hand, yeah, it's losing that stack and losing that advantage and all that memory is not a good situation for the Black War player. But Black War also has very strong natural outs to the Mastemon, being able to develop it and then pop 6k with the Metal X. It's a very common play that we see.
Alright, looks like the Lewellyn running Mastemon is going to go first. Flipping the Digiegg, getting the Ignitemon, and straight into the Mirai Tamer. So
very nice.
Yeah, really
very
nice
good opening.
There.
As long as they can find a good line up next.
And we're going to see William flipping the Koromon. We see he's got Cool Boy in hand there. William hesitating, which makes me think probably hasn't opened a level 3, which is a little bit of a rough start, but Black Waygreymon does have a lot of card draw, a lot of search, so it's not necessarily too unrecoverable for William, especially with that Cool Boy in hand to do some search.
Yeah, he's got starter cards with the Cool Boy that can find him a rookie.
Yeah, we are going to see the Cool Boy there. Pulling the Black Wall, the Greymon X antibody. Very powerful card. Yes, color change. Very powerful card. Yeah. But not a level 3, and it seems like that's what William was looking for. Debating hard playing the Greymon here. which
playing the Greymon will put him on 2, then they gain the 1 memory back. It's the same as passing turn, but at least having a body on board is a good lead to Evo up if your opponent doesn't have a out to it. Which being this very early in the game, things like Health Scythe aren't as optimal in this situation. So it can be understandable that the opponent doesn't want to. Are they going to gain that memory? Okay. Fix the memory for the Mire.
Alright, Lewellyn.
Alright, never mind.
Choosing to go into looks to be the Digimon there, promoting up, and gonna really kind of push this advantage. Just go for the Digivolution. You know, William doesn't have a lot going on at the moment. Just that one Greymon clearly has had a bit of a bricky start, so Llewellyn's going to capitalize, playing a bit more aggressively.
Yep, and the Lady Devi can get his trash started. Very good for Chaos. Flame Health Scythes, which I see in his hand right there. He's going to discard Chaos Health Scythe. Maybe he already has one in his hand, or maybe he just wants to remove the bricks that aren't usable right now.
Alright, so William starting the turn on 3. Bit of a rough start. I see Briefree from the stream yesterday joining us in the chat.
Hello, Briefree, how's it going?
Right. Now, William going into the Metal Grey, Digivolving the Devimon.
And if he's got the Metal X, he can gain memory back to Cool Boy and tap the and pop the Devimon, yes.
And there is the Metal Grey X, absolutely. So going to gain that memory, draw that card with Cool Boy.
Yep.
This is a good recovery for William. Did get to keep the Greymon around and get a chance to now Digivolve up through that line with more or less the ideal sort of 3 there. The Greymon that will offer protection if William can get next antibody going. The Metal Grey to de-Digivolve, and then the Metal Grey X to ultimately delete Llewellyn's stack. So we see the sort of William playing out the Greymon rather than electing to just pass has paid off. Sometimes you do just need to get something on the board, and then from there you can get a bit more of advantage going rather than just passing the turn and not having anything.
Yeah, getting something on board was really important in order to start a ladder up, so you can start drawing so you aren't bricking. Getting the draws to unbrick your hand is incredibly important. If you just pass, then you don't have any lead.
I think William is strongly debating what he's going to do next. Has 1 memory left, and since he didn't start with any level 3s, we have to assume he's got a lot of top end, so he's kind of planning out his plays. We see the X antibody in hand, so there are a few options there. I think we also see the Yuya in hand is a possibility, but going for the Gaiomon.
Deciding not to tuck the X antibody is interesting. But things in the security aren't typically cards that would remove the Gaiomon. Things like Chaos, Cocoonus Breath, the other 8 cost one that puts the bottom of the deck, Mega Deaths, things like that. They would protect the Gaiomon, but hitting a Chaos D-grade, for example, would not. So yeah, opting to save the X antibody for a push when attacking, I think he finds more value in that.
Llewellyn building up a stack in raising now, trying to recover. Losing that main stack was a bit of a problem, but getting the Chaos Degrade and getting now to remove William's own stack.
So I think what the Blackwall Greymon player was contemplating was playing the Yuya first before he evoed up, because if he had a Yuya out when he evoed up, he would have, if he had a way to digivolve into the same level, he could have tapped the Yuya, so it was protected against the Chaos Tigre. But it's actually very difficult at that stage, being level 5, because you have to go into level 4 being the Blackwall Grey and the Blackwall Grey X, or Diamond. So very difficult.
Looks like Williams managed to unstick his hand a little bit, getting some digivolving going in raising, and now asking to check Llewellyn's trash, knowing, of course, that Mastemon can play around with the trash, can bring some surprises out of there, so William trying to maximize his information to make sure he's not walking right into a trap.
I think one thing to note is the Mastemon doesn't have access to the Lewellyn, so there isn't going to be any Tamer popping yet. Right. I think that's what he was looking for.
Yeah. So it looks like William has a few options in hand. We see the Agumon X antibody, the potential to get some more cards to hand. We see the Yuya to get a tamer and to sort of set William up with memory for the long game. And I believe we see another Cool Boy as well. So William has quite a few sort of lines of play here. Just depends what it is that he feels he needs.
All right, there's the Yuya. Good setup.
Yeah, playing a bit of the long game there with the Yuya and planning for the future. And then dropping, the Agumon X antibody to get some search.
Yep. Or Agus.
That was unfortunate. No hits off the Agumon X antibody there. Doesn't feel very good.
All right, get in the memory game. Good from the tamer. You can do some big pushes here if they want to.
Yep. Lewellyn choosing to move out the Gardemon indicates we're probably going to see a Mastemon very shortly, I would think. Otherwise,
Yep.
Lewellyn probably wouldn't want to risk the stack at this juncture.
They're looking to trigger all the effects, I think.
Yeah, wanting to maximize the value here. Having the same issue as yesterday, where these players have blinged out their decks, so these alt arts are hard to.
Yep, activating the Wind Digivung effect to discard, grab back a Angel Woman, and then Mirai will trigger to play the Angel Woman for free, getting back a memory from the Lady Devi and from the Ignitemon, evoing up. Oh,
Angel Woman X
Angel Woman
antibody.
X. Nice.
Very interesting. Llewellyn only playing one of these, but it is a very interesting little tech card there. We're not seeing too much of it at present, so.
All right, here's the Mastemon play.
Here it is.
That's a long stack, tall stack. All right, so we'll get the play for the Mastemon. I don't think they have access to the Lucemon, so they are just going to put a Devimon back into their security and then play the same Devimon. We'll pop the Agumon with that effect, and opponent will cut the security.
Llewellyn feeling pretty good here at this juncture. Has the Mastemon, has cleared William's board. 6 memory to play with.
Yeah, Ignitemon activating twice because it's a new Digimon in the Mastemon stack. Really cool interaction with that play. So now we've got a punch with the Mastemon, and he can punch with the Devimon. I think this one has Rush, if it's the new Devimon.
Hard to tell with the alternate art. I'm still getting my head across, but it looks to be the new one. No inheritable on there, which indicates to be it's either the new BT11 Devimon or potentially an alternate art version of the blocker.
Yeah, I actually think it's the blocker then. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it is the blocker, so not going to be able to punch with the Devimon here.
He's got the Lucemon in hand.
Ooh.
Yes, nice. This is huge play cost, but popping the Yuya, I think it's very telling that the Mastemon player might have a Chaos Degrade in his security.
Yeah, popping the Yuya to stop William from getting that protection from option cards, and taking a quick look at William's deck list. Looks to be, like many Black or Grey, only playing the one Yuya, so Llewellyn can feel very confident in popping that Yuya that it's not going to make a comeback. There's no other copy waiting in the wings.
Yes, so one thing I found interesting about the top 32 card was that the lists were actually revealed to all players before the day 2 starts. So these two players would probably have a look at each other's deck lists, knowing who their opponent was going to be. So with that little bit of extra knowledge, the Mastemon player probably already knows that they only have access to one Yuya, and they're not going to see it again.
William going into Greymon X antibody, getting that memory and those draws from Cool Boy, all the way up to 8 memory here. So William also has a lot to play with, a big hand of cards, probably a lot of potential lines of play. But Llewellyn does have a lot on board, and that Mastemon is currently very scary.
Yes, it can be de-digivolved though, so here is the Metal X. The Mastemon player was already, I think, accounting for it because the Angel Woman X is a little bit stronger than Angel Woman, so it is the 8k plus it keeps the inheritable of the Lady Devi, not the Lady Devi, the Angel Woman that's underneath it, so it still has blocker and retail.
Yeah, really nice use of the Angel Woman X antibody there. William popping X antibody underneath the Metal Greymon stack. Looking like we're going to go for a big swing here.
Oh, and because it's a little bit stronger, if he goes for the X, he can't pop the Angel Woman because it's 8k rather than 6k. That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's worked out pretty well for Lewellyn there. Probably feeling very clever at this point in time. William playing a bit cautiously here. Of course, top 32 is elimination, so there is reason to be a little bit more cautious in your plays, not to rush into things. You know that you're coming up against some of the best players in the region, playing the top decks in the meta at the time, so not wanting to make any mistakes here.
We have also extended the time limit for the rounds of 55 minutes, I think, instead of the typical 45. So they have a little bit more leeway in their plays.
Yeah, so no need to rush. Plenty of time for William to think this one through before just swinging in, which is why he's sitting in top 32 and I'm back here because I would absolutely just be hitting face at this point.
Oh yeah, absolutely, me too. That's what I was doing day one, and now I'm sitting here instead.
Right. Now we can't actually hear what the players are discussing. A bit of a discussion going on, I think, trying to clear up what some of these inheritables are doing and how some of these effects and interactions are going to shake out before William makes a decision.
Yep. So I think the Angel Woman has the blocker, the retaliation. That's all the angels and fallen angels. They have the draw one, discard on deletion, and they have the ignite your turn when a guy's played by effect, you get a memory. I'm pretty sure the ignites are your turn effect and not a both turns effect.
Yeah, really good stack for Lewellyn. So William probably going to want to get rid of that if at all possible, because all those inheritables are going to do a lot of work on Llewellyn's next turn. If indeed he does get one, William counting up some memory now, trying to work out exactly how everything's going to shake out.
Mastemon player gave him a lot of memory, but the Black Wolf player might just give him a lot of memory back.
Yeah, it's surprisingly large amounts of memory being traded back and forth here. Definitely no memory choking going on. Players are going all out here, and William is going to digivolve into that looks to be the X antibody. A little bit hard to tell from this angle.
Yep, that's the metal X, yeah.
Yep, so there we go. Black Wall
X, yeah.
William contemplating.
So deciding to attack the
yep, just the blocker obviously going to take
and retaliation. Yep. The Lewellyn one also had blocker retaliation, but always better to remove the little guy.
Yep, William triggering the protection effect, getting rid of that X antibody, immediately playing another one, and now hitting the Hades Force. Going to choosing some targets here.
So we'll get the draw and discard of the Angel Woman.
And then getting both the Angel Woman stack and the Tamer. Enough Black Waygreymon X having a high enough cost to be able to target both. So a pretty solid Hades Force from William there. Really
board wide.
Yeah, just clearing out the board.
Yeah, because when the Black War X unsuspends, it'll pop the lowest cost, and that is the Mastemon.
Alright, Lewellyn then going for the Chaos Degrade, which Black War Grey is not going to be able to get around. No option to use the protection there, so a big exchange. Both players now having to reset, and it's going to be a race to see who can get their stack going, get their swings going first.
Very well planned by the Mastemon player, opting to kill the Yuya on the previous turn, so they could set up that removal for when your opponent counters.
Yeah, that removal was set up turns in advance, starting when Lewellyn popped the Yuya. And
popping the Yuya cost like 12 memory, because they didn't have enough cards in the stack to reduce the memory cost. But we'll see if it pays off.
Yeah, so this is the kind of play we can expect to see from the top 32 today. Looking those turns ahead, trying to eke out advantage wherever possible. William getting a lot of draws here from the Ugly X antibody. Gonna give himself a very good chance to rebuild, drawing a lot of cards, has a lot of memory. And that's the unfortunate thing about that otherwise really good Chaos Degrade play is that William now gets the chance to rebuild first with a lot of memory. So when you're trying to race to the top, it is a bit of a shame for the Mastemon player to be on the back foot here.
Opting to go for the +1 security Greymon in the rear instead of the blocker Greymon. Really cool point, considering that time favors the Mastemon player more than the Blackwall player. So any way to advance game state or advance the clock is really important for the Blackwall player.
Right. And William going into the Metal Greymon there and passing over to Lewellyn at one memory
cost for the Metal Grey.
Yeah, paying full cost, not something you often see in the Blackwall Greymon deck. Usually we see that Greymon X antibody reducing the cost to 2, but has actually worked out maybe a little bit in William's favor, leaving Lewellyn on 1 rather than anything else. Lewellyn playing Calling from Darkness, taking advantage of not having anything in play to be able to just grab something from trash rather than having to delete any Digimon. Nice play there, really making the best out of all of Lewellyn's effects, and hitting Flame Hellscythe, looks like.
Okay, so opting to go for the Angel Woman to the -2 security attack to the Metal X. So this won't be hitting for any damage anytime soon.
Yeah, which is a good choice, I think. That Metal X was clearly gearing up to do something on the next turn, and William's now having to either take a turn off and just build, or switch priorities and maybe promote that Greymon.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to push the Greymon yet, because the opponent has the guy in the rear ready to push later, especially it being the Gatomon being a 1-cost Evo. Very good position for the Mastemon player.
Right. William going into Metal Grey X antibody here. Drawing the card from Digivolution, and
pretty sure it's mandatory to pop the 6k, but he... Oh, the opponent is asking how many cards left in deck. New win condition.
Alright, Mastemon player may just be trying to stall William out here. William is drawing a lot of cards with all of these effects. William choosing not to activate the Cool Boys for that reason.
Yeah, maybe the opponent didn't ask, and the Blackwall player was just counting to make sure. They didn't want to put himself in a poor position.
Up into Gaio. Looks like choosing to swing, even though not going to do any security damage, just to trigger some effects.
Yes, he wants to reboot and then trigger the inheritable X antibody from the Metal X.
Yeah, really nice move there. Trashing the Analog Youth Tamer from the top of security, which is great. No free value for Lewellyn there.
Yep, so now the Mastemon player is forced to answer this Garymon, making him push out, which leaves the Blackwall player with a guy in the rear to push out for the counter. Good position for the Blackwall player, really good place.
Yeah, Lewellyn looks like they're getting another potential Mastemon going with the Lady Debbie and the Angel one there. Just trying to trigger all of these effects. A lot of effects on the Mastemon side, so trying to keep up with them can be a bit...
Back, going for the Loosemon.
Yep, Loosemon into security.
This is all during the end of the turn.
Play out the Loosemon, and what?
Yep, Loosemon pop the Gaimon. No X antibody to protect it.
No protection there, unfortunately, so William going to lose both his Digimon there. Does have that Digimon in raising, though, so it's not quite a death knell, but William is going to have to build up again.
He has 2 Cool Boys for the memory, but I don't know if he wants to use them because it will advance his drawing.
Yeah, also being very aware that the Mastemon player can just stall him out until he draws out. So William having to play very carefully here, trying not to draw too many cards, which is a little bit hard because there's a lot of Digivolution in Blackwall Greymon X that is going to draw William a lot of cards and get him dangerously close to decking out. The first deck out that we here on the stream would have seen for the whole event, if it does occur.
All right, tapping both Cool Boys. Okay, risky business. The Mastemon player has both block and retaliation on both his guys, so he has the ability to store out a little bit more with those effects.
Now it looks like in the chat we're seeing Dopperson, shouldn't have tried to read it, is saying that Loosemon doesn't have block and retaliation due to not being an angel.
Okay, thank you for the correction. I did not know that.
Oh, the chat will keep us honest. Absolutely. If I learned anything from yesterday, they are here to catch any mistake we may make, so they are onto it. William, I think clearly indicating that he's going to try and do a lot of damage or even potentially aim to win the game here on this turn. Drawing the cards with those Cool Boys, a clear signal that he's not planning to have too many more turns in this game one way or the other.
Alright, so here is the X. Starting the block. Will trigger the retaliation.
Which William gets to protect with X antibody.
The discard and let's go the draw earlier, and then restanding on target's turn, shredding a security.
Yep. So William clearing the board again here, except for that Mastemon, but still putting himself in a very good position. Mastemon, not a blocker or anything like that. So Lewellyn flipping the last Digi-Egg.
Now, if he can get to a yellow here, he's probably got another Chaos degrade to tuck away the. Yeah, I see that on top of his hand there. There it is.
Absolutely get rid of that Black Waygreymon.
Yep.
William's still in a reasonable position.
In a good position because of the deck out. I think the Mastemon player is still pretty good.
Oh, William's deck looking tenuously low there, swinging with the Agumon, one back in raising. So
what he needs is a white hybrid.
That would be ideal for William here. Now, William is faced with a choice. Do I try to build up my stack? Do I try to get something more going? Or do I just trust that Lewellyn is not going to kill me on the next turn and won't be able to field any kind of blocker or defense? Because William's deck is looking dangerously low. Not a lot of options to Digivolve or sort of get anything going there. So William in a very tenuous position heading into what are going to be, one way or the other, the final couple turns of this first game of the round.
Yeah, looks like 2 cards left in deck now. Talking about dangerously low is the time. This game here has lasted 25 minutes. It's very concerning for the Black Ball Grey player because it looks like he's going to just scoop it up very soon, and he probably should, considering that the next potential 2 games could last a similar amount.
Yeah, the time there, Black Waygreymon not wanting to play for this long, definitely not in Black Waygremon's favor to play this long game. William looking through all of his options, eating a little bit more into that time.
I think he knows potentially the last 2 cards are X antibodies that he had to bottom deck. I know the very last card is. So he should know what's in his deck at the moment, and if what's in his deck can't help him win, he should just scoop this up.
William facing a very difficult choice, electing to play Agumon,
yes, 2 X
reveal
antibodies.
the 2 X antibodies.
Yes. He's just playing cards, potentially going for a Rookie Rush next turn, making sure he can't add them to hand.
Alright, William hoping to just survive this next swing from Lewellyn and attack around, but Lewellyn is going to have every chance here to get another Mastemon stack going. And does have the Mastemon in hand. But is it going to be enough?
He can't bring out the Mastemon because the Mastemon will be part of the stack. Unless he hard plays another purple, which he can. He does have the Gatomon in the stack of the Angel Woman. So then he can do the end of turn evolution, DNA evolution.
Yeah, and still facing down the problem of William having 3 security left. That is not a negligible amount. Lewellyn might struggle to do 3 damage here.
I don't think the 3 damage is his win condition. I think the win condition is deck out. What he needs to do is put out blockers and hit board and pop the guys, pop the rookies.
Yeah, Lewellyn searching trash, really trying to get a handle on every potential line of play as we're heading into the final minutes of this game 1.
Okay,
DNA going for the Mastemon
with the Mastemon. Now he can't grab the Mastemon. He'll have to grab a different level 5 or lower. No, he can grab any purple yellow Digimon, but he can only play level 5 or lower from the security. Yep.
Grabbing the Gatomon there.
Okay.
And yep, choosing to play it out from security, obviously. So doing some search with the Gatomon effect.
Popping an Agumon, yep. Gatomon is not a fallen angel or angel, so it does not have blocker.
So Lewellyn looking to field another angel, get that blocker, and maybe, just maybe, survive these last couple of swings from William.
Choke on one's important.
Alright, choking William on one.
Drawing that X anybody, yep.
William has 2 attackers, Lewellyn has 2 defenders. Can William find a way around?
Both the defenders have retaliation, so I think it is optimal just a whole turn. Hopefully play out a guy, and hope that the Mastemon player can't remove it.
Of course, William also staring down that last card in his deck. Not a lot of room for error here. A very exciting game 1, round 1, coming down right down to the wire. William walking a tightrope here. That last card is just, just seeing it sitting at the top of the mat, it's taunting. It's just...
Oh yeah, this is an outlier. Yeah, maybe my call to scoop up last turn wasn't the right call. It did advance 5 minutes on the clock. It's a gamble.
No matter what happens, William's going to have to play very quickly the next game or next 2 games, depending how things shake out.
Yeah, because now this game has lasted 30 minutes.
Definitely favouring the Mastemon player with the long play there. Lewellyn looking at William's trash. Potentially trying to get a handle on what may be insecurity, because with all the cards in trash and only 1 card known to be the X-Antibody in William's deck, Lewellyn has pretty good information about what might be kicking around in William's security.
Yeah, if William knows his deck list, which he should, I mean, his opponent might actually know what's in the security.
Very possible. William considering the Hades Force.
Hey, if he Hades Force, he has to push, because otherwise he won't have a Greymon in order to use it with. Hades Force wouldn't even do too much damage, because it would only be 5 cost removal.
Not going to be ideal. William instead just choosing to play another body, not drawing any cards, because he can't afford to.
Now, if you've got a Flame Hellscythe, this could be the best time to do it. If you have any other way to play a guy by effect.
Lewellyn just needs to survive 1 more turn, get 1 more body, 1 more...
Oceania would also be good, getting a heal and a pop.
Yep, recovering would also be ideal. Kind of a lot of outs for Lewellyn here. I think at this point, it's definitely Lewellyn's game to lose.
Is that Mervamon? That's Mervamon! Mervamon getting the Ignite under, getting 2 more Devimons, getting a memory back with the Ignite, and because he played a guy by effect, Mastemon pops 2! Ah, yeah!
Dropping 2 more bodies, looks to be 2 more blockers. William only with 1. Doesn't matter, only has 1 body, has plenty of memory, just needs to get past this wall of blockers. This is the absolute last turn. William either gets around this wall here or loses to deck out.
That was a sick play.
That was fantastic. Exciting stuff here. Round 1 already. And William's going to scoop.
That's a scoop.
No way to get around the wall. Lewellyn is going to take game 1, winning to deck out game 1 of the top 32 here in Oceania.
I mean, is it really by deck out when the Mastemon player had lethal next turn and the other guy had no way to go about it?
I mean, that's how I would chalk it up on my board. 1 to deck out, or 1 to the massive wall of Digimon. Either way, that was
huge wall of Digimon. That was like 5 or 6 punches.
Really, really intricate technical play from both players at the end there as things were going down to the wire. A lot of... You could see the wheels turning on both sides of the table, every decision being really carefully considered, and I'm hoping that's emblematic of what we're going to see across the whole day today with these top 32 players.
Yeah, I think that's really telling, especially considering the amount of memory given on each
huge
turn.
Swings back and forth.
Yeah, and they all paid off. Like, even the Lucemon spending like 12, I think it was like 11 memory. It reduced it by 3 for every 10th like that.
It was a very expensive Lucemon to pop that Yuya.
Extremely expensive Lucemon.
But had a massive effect on the game as well. Right, so you're William, Black Waygreymon, with less than half the time left, played one game, you're down 1-0.
Yes, that was a 32-minute game.
First things first, are you going first or second in this second game? What do you think?
I think, for me, almost every time second place, second going second. It is the most ideal position for almost every deck. Getting that extra draw, extremely important for consistency, and potentially forcing your opponent to brick, extremely important for a free win.
Absolutely, especially William. Yep, choosing to go second, probably also still feeling the sting of that initial brick at the start of that first game where we saw struggle to get a rookie to hand.
Yep, and the Mastemon with a non-optimal hard play for the level 5.
Giving William 7 memory to work with.
Now the line that the Mastemon player has, they can evo into a Mastemon, but that's not great. They'll get a heal from it, but
Lewellyn dropping the black Argimon X antibody, grabbing a blocker Greymon. Is looking very nice so far for William. Has those 2 level 3s. We can see has X antibody in hand. Just a really looking like a really good setup at the start of this game too, which he needs. Not a lot of time left to play. Needs a good setup. Needs to get going quickly if he's going to take this game and then another after this, all in the span of just 20 minutes.
Fast. Yeah, unfortunately, he's got the blocker Greymon instead of the +1 security attack Greymon. Not the best for speeding up the initiative.
Eating Tofu says Lewellyn has a beautiful forehead. I'll take your word for it. I can't really see it from my angle here. Maybe if we get a chance, we can get some photos with that beautiful forehead later. But for now, William...
If you want to check out the TAC Facebook, we actually posted a picture of the top 32 everyone there. So if you pick out Lewellyn from there, you can see his beautiful forehead in a more straight shot.
William, 3 memory to play with, 2 stacks on the go. Has a blocker, inheritable Greymon out in front, and then that Greymon X antibody in the back. Choosing to swing, get some chip damage in. I think that's a pretty good play overall. When you're racing the clock here, any chance, I think, to get some of that damage in is going to be something you want to go for. Looks like Mr. Worldwide. Again, I will have to take a word for it there. Eating Tofu.
Lewellyn thinking about his plays, remembering the tamer, very important. I think he's feeling the pressure of top 32. He doesn't want to be making those mistakes and forgetting those effects.
Llewellyn having to hard Digivolve into the Mastemon there.
A heal can be okay. It does give him a lead, potentially unbrick.
Or was it hard Digivolve? Or was... No, yes it was.
Yeah, so it definitely wasn't DNA. So yeah, the judge just wanted to check that effect, make sure that it is a legal play before it becomes an irreparable game state.
Oh, we definitely don't want to see that. We saw yesterday there were a couple of incidences of some plays that turned out to be illegal that we had to chase up. So,
and it's important. It's very good that the judge is double checking all of that. Yeah, very good.
Thanks for joining us, Dark Anger. Glad you could make it to catch most of day 2. We are just starting out. We're here in game 2, round 1. It's the start of the day. There's still the whole world laid out before us. Anything could happen. Lewellyn hard playing the Gardomon there to get that search going. Really, yeah, it looks like Lewellyn is struggling. William making the very correct decision to play second. And just having all the advantages in the world at this point in the game. Lewellyn very carefully considering what he's going to grab. Well, did you see what that was that he's just put to hand? I didn't really
It was a Gardomon and something else. I think maybe the Loosemon.
And William going to go to 1.
Yep, double checking the search from the footboard. Yep.
And into Metal Grey X antibody. Gonna gain that memory right back with the Cool Boy, draw that card, pop the Gardomon.
Removing that Gardomon, extremely important.
Oh, great target. That Gardomon does a lot of work in the Mastemon deck. And if you can at all pop it before it gets to do its thing, you want to.
Especially with the Mirai already established.
100%. Playing the X Antibody, swinging into Greymon X Antibody.
Single check from this. When it unsuspends, it will pop the Lady Devi and trash the security.
William in a very commanding position here in Game 2, playing very quickly because the clock is not in his favor. Only 16 minutes left to play.
Oh, okay, going for the Gatomon. I thought we might have seen a Chaos D grade to immediately answer it.
Well, there's the Chaos D grade.
You can't add it to hand though, because the Gatomon can only add Digimon.
So Gardomon going to be adding those 2 Digimon to hand. Lewellyn checking trash. I think we saw some Chaos degrades in hand. Chaos degradation. But Lewellyn kind of having the rough choice of I need a body on board as well. I can't just like you can remove the stack. William's just got another one right there in raising, ready to go.
I think I saw a Chaos degrade in his security. So I think maybe he's gambling that the Chaos degrade will be hit by the Wargrey X.
Yep, I'm not going to waste the memory on the Chaos degrade. There's one waiting in security. I'll hope you hit it, and instead I'll spend my time and my memory trying to get some board presence.
But I think if his win condition was to stall out and win with the one win that he already has, maybe he should have played the Chaos degrade.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Lewellyn has the Mastemon putting Angelmon into security. Now going to pull the Angelmon out. William cutting the security there.
Fanimon.
Yeah.
Getting the heal. Nice. Nothing to pop. But
the long game definitely in Lewellyn's favor here. So
he's going for the end of turn DNA into the Ordinimon. Man, it's been a while since I've seen Ordinimon. What does it do again?
Oh, that is a good question. I don't have the card handy, but that was a great play.
He got another heal and he popped the board.
Yep.
Let's just grab the effect of the Ordinimon so you can make sure what the position on the board is.
Yep, just about ideal for Lewellyn there. Getting this level 7 fielded to the board with some excellent effects. My phone is not cooperating today. Slow at the best of times, but of course now it senses that I'm trying desperately to bring some information up, so it's ground to a halt. William now in a much less favorable looking position, dropping the black Argumon, getting some search going.
Right. So the Ordinimon has the when digivolving, delete one opponent's Digimon that's level 6 or higher, and all of their level 5 or lower Digimon. So it's a strong board wipe, potentially, but that's how they got rid of the Wargrey X. And then it gets recover 1, so that's how they got the recovery. It's also got on deletion, you can trash the top of your security to play the Ordinimon for free. So this Ordinimon's going to be a bit of a thorn in the side, especially get 15k.
Oh, and especially with William racing the clock as it is, this Ordinimon is going to be able to stall pretty effectively. It's going to really slow down the pace of the game, and that is not what William wants to see. William has 13 minutes left to get 2 wins.
Yeah, and this Ordinimon is both purple and yellow, so it does have the blocker and retaliation.
William placing X Antibody under the stack, going into Metal Greymon, digivolving the Ordinimon.
Yep, but still, there's Fanimon, blocker retaliation, and on deletion, you can play that Gatomon. Really good position.
Kiostu, I'm not sure if William's stack that was deleted had the Greymon beneath it, or if it the 2-color Greymon X Antibody. We might have to find that out.
Yeah, that's
in the post match.
Yeah, underneath the machine, the metal Greymon is the Grey X. Yeah, it's a Grey X.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be. It can't be any other card. So they're punching.
Hard to believe, though, that the Black Waygreymon X player would have just forgotten about the protection effect. So not exactly sure what happened with that stack being deleted by the Digimon.
Oh, about the X antibody.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Hades
Yeah,
Force.
maybe he just didn't have it. Yeah, we'll have to check the footage. Yeah. Or if any keen-eye watchers has it and know it.
I think there was... Looks like there's a bit of confusion in chat as well about what exactly happened there. William getting the Hades Force in security. Lewellyn now losing that stack, fielding a Gardemon.
Finally fighting that rookie.
Yeah, getting to start rebuilding here reasonably quickly.
Now with 2 memory, they can definitely find their way into a Mastemon.
And Lewellyn's sitting on 5 security again, so William is facing an uphill battle getting through those 5 security. 11.5 minutes left of playtime in this round, so William really needs to put the foot to the floor and get something going here, get through those security, because if he takes this, he's still got another game to play, and Mastemon is just excellent at slowing down the pace of the game, playing that slow game with all these recovery effects, with all of these blocker effects as well. Not in William's favor here.
I think the thing that slows down the game the most isn't necessarily the recovery, but more so the effects themselves. There's so many specific effects that need to go in a very particular order, and they all activate and a lot of the time.
Oh, yeah, a lot of triggers happening on the massive one happening side there. Lewellyn getting another Mastemon.
Yep.
All
while keeping turn.
Yep, gonna pull out that Gatomon, get some search going, maybe get a second stack going.
Opting to not go for the double pop. If he got a level 5, he could have. No, it has to be exactly the Lucemon, because Lucemon could pop the Metal Grey. He'll save it with the X antibody, and then the Mastemon would pop it as well.
2 hits off Gatomon. That is what you want to see. Lewellyn going to go into Lady Devimon. Going to get that draw.
We do see a Death X in hand.
Ooh.
Okay, access to the Lucemon. Very
Haven't
nice.
seen a Death X played yet on stream so far over these 2 days. Maybe today we're going to see the first one, although I don't know that it's ideal for Lewellyn at this juncture. Instead going for Chaos Degrade.
And then trashing a security.
Getting rid of that Metal Greymon. Trading a Metal Greymon for a Metal Greymon for the top of William's security.
Now William here has to answer this, especially with only 10 minutes left on the clock.
Yep, William feeling that time pressure at this juncture. Handful of cards, but Lewellyn has a pretty good looking board. And just that clock ticking down. It's unfortunate, but it is a real factor.
Now this game was actually extended by 10 minutes to 55. So in a regular match, this would be over.
Yeah, we would be at time at a regular length match. It's only thanks to the, as you say, the extended time that William still has these 10 minutes to play with. I don't think they're going to be enough, though. Looking very dire. William going straight into the Metal Grey X antibody with no Metal Greymon in between. I guess we've already seen at least 2 of them go to trash, possibly even more.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Yeah, to miss out on that de-digivolving, very unfortunate.
Yeah, it would have been really nice at this point in time. Yeah, hard to believe, Free, but this is only game 2.
This is game 2, yes.
Right, William placing that X antibody beneath the stack. Really hand almost forced at this point. Has to get something to board. Going into Black Wall Grey X antibody. Going to swing. Lewellyn electing to block with the Lady Debbie. And William using that X antibody to protect the Black Wall Grey stack. Still facing down that Mastemon and still facing down that timer. Ticking inexorably down to 0. William still needs to take this out and then another game. Yeah, Dark Anger, this game has been going on for very long. William really considering his plays again here. The Mastemon player forcing William to be very careful at all points in this game.
Yeah.
No room for error because the Mastemon has just been punishing the Black Waygreymon player all the way through this round.
Yeah. And Johnny, I absolutely agree. Game 1 was an absolute thriller to watch. And extremely well played by both players, but Mastermon did take it in.
William grabbing Greymon X Antibody there. Interesting choice. Thought I saw an Omnimon X Antibody there, but has gone for the Greymon instead. Lewellyn. One in raising, Mastemon in play.
No option
that
protection
out.
for this Black Ball Grey X.
Going to swing in.
Right, this guy with Demi Mirror.
Ooh.
Probably want to go for
Black Waygreymon has unsuspended, and people are pointing out that Black Waygremon's unsuspend effect should cause the Mastemon to be deleted. Hasn't been removed from the field. Is that a potential misplay?
Because this would occur in the unsuspend phase, and the unsuspend phase is the very first phase of a turn.
Yeah.
So even before you draw. So yeah, the Mastemon should have been popped by the Black Ball Grey X. Yeah, absolutely correct.
Yeah, not sure what's going on there. They're not even an optional effect. The Mastemon just should have been removed. May change the flow of the game there.
Going for the Lucemon, just hard play to pop the Black Ball Grey X. I think if the Mastemon was popped, I think, removing the bodies would be very good for the Black Ball player, but it wouldn't have changed the fact that he would have probably would have just hard played the Lucemon anyway to pop that Black Ball.
Hang on. Does that unsuspend effect? I don't have it in front of me. Does it require an X antibody or a war grade?
It does.
That may be why.
I think it does need the X antibody or the war grade to trigger. It is the redirect that allows that it has naturally.
Yeah. So William didn't get that unsuspend effect due to a lack of Black War Grey or X antibody underneath the stack, unfortunately. So that's why we've seen the Mastemon survive. Some of these effects can get a little bit confusing, can get a little hard to track the board state, but...
And we do have a judge watching them, making sure they try to maintain as strong of a board state as possible. So, trust the judges.
Yeah. Yeah, we do have judges watching the top 32 very closely, so... Yeah, the players are on top of this one.
Yeah. The players know more than us at this point.
William... electing to get the Gaio there.
And I actually think the Black Ward's deck is looking kind of thin already.
Yep. It's looking a bit slim. William drawing a lot of cards. Hey, absolutely no problem there. McGrady, we like having people in the chat throwing things in. Sometimes, we've got a lot of people watching the board at this time. 75 viewers I see in the chat, and some of us are going to miss something. So between hopefully all 77 of us, we can catch every nuance of this game. So if you do see something like that, please do throw it out, especially if we do end up needing to intervene as we did yesterday in a misplay. William has that Greymon X antibody.
Yeah, only tapping one Cool Boy. They don't want to get too much memory, because the more memory they get, the more draws they get. And that deck is looking slim to me.
Yep. William going Metal Grey and into X Antibody, getting rid of that Mastemon stack.
And choking on one. Very good.
Yep, Lewellyn gaining another memory from the Mireille, but two, still not a lot to work with when you're having to rebuild quite as much as Lewellyn is going to have to. Yeah, also worth remembering, not only are the players we're watching on stream, which is a pressure all on its own, they're in the top 32, it is elimination, so the pressure they're under is enormous.
Yes.
So the fact that they're playing as well as they are is really a testament to them as players, and this is exactly why we have the judges standing by the table to catch any potential misplays that probably will come from pressure more than anything else. I think we can trust at this point that these top 32 players know the game fairly well, know their decks fairly well, so we can chalk any mistakes up to the pressure of the situation more than anything else. Lewellyn has in just such a good position for security to 1. has that Lucemon on board, has that Digimon in the back, and has the timer on side. 2 minutes 30 left in the round. William still has yet to get a single game win.
And for security in the Mastemon player. Chaos D-Grey is not going to help either.
Oh, just this whole game has been so punishing for the Black Waygreymon player, losing stack after stack and setback after setback.
That looks like 2 cards left in deck for the Black War player as well. Not great.
Are we going to see back-to-back deck out wins?
Back-to-back deck out wins.
William just 8 memory, but such an uphill battle.
Yeah.
Just looking at the board, it is elimination, so you don't want to just scoop if you can possibly put something together. I think you try to go for it, but I don't know what William is going to be able to put together.
Do we know what the bottom cards are? I don't think they're X-Antibodies.
I think William has used at least one X-Antibody, so one of them may be. But I think it's only been one so far over the course of this game, so not sure what those other cards are.
Yeah. Does he have any Agumons he can just throw down?
Yeah, Johnny Lewellyn playing the chameleon sleeves there, red sleeves on the Mastemon deck, maybe trying to make people think that he's running something else.
And we're going full Mega Zoo here.
Just hard dropping the Gaiamon, and Lewellyn getting the game 2 win there with 55 seconds left on the clock. What a fantastic couple of games to start us off today, round 1. Lewellyn Mastemon taking the 2-0 over Black Waygreymon there.
We will see the Lewellyn in top 16.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Fantastic work from Lewellyn there. Unfortunate on the part of the Black Waygreymon player, but that's the way that it shakes out here in the top 32.